Good evening. Welcome to Curriculum Night. We're here to talk about scheduling and the process that your scholars will be going through and you will be assisting so that we can get our schedule set in place for next school year. I would like to start by introducing our panelists. We have Dr. Renato Lahar, our principal. We have Mel Jackson. She is also Miss Jackson. She is also the freshman transition coordinator. We have Matt Pimental. We have Lori Cohen, and we also have Miss Amy Shields from Eastern Center in Arts and Technology. I would like to thank all of you for taking your time to attend this tonight. Everything will be made live on our website. At the end of this presentation, I will share a link through the chat so that you can go to that website and you can take your time and do it on your time. And you will be able to go there and also watch some videos that have been recorded by our department chairs. And just to kind of give you a little bit more insight on our course offerings for each department. Before I begin this presentation, though, I would like to allow our principal to say a word and to welcome everybody to tonight's event. Dr. Lahar.
Thank you, Dr. Hammond. Welcome, everyone. My name is Dr. Lahara, and I am coming to you live from my kitchen. I'd like to welcome everyone, my Cedarbrook staff and students that are on the call, and of course, my lovely CHS students and parents that are on the call. Tonight's an exciting night. I just went through this process with my daughter. She goes to Jenkintown High School. So I can't wait for you to see the course offerings that we have. And I can't wait to see what you and your children select for next year, especially the 8th grade students coming into 9th grade next year. I'm excited to welcome you to Cheltenham High School with open arms. So without further ado, I'll turn it back to Dr. Hammond to take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to just go over the agenda and what you are going to get here. We're going to, again, talk about the curriculum and the process for selecting courses and how that will take place, give you some timelines that you'll need to know. And also we'll just talk about the overall importance of this process. We're then going to talk about the freshman experience, our freshman transition program. We'll also have a small presentation for project-based learning. And then as well, we'll wrap up with the presentation from Ms. Shields from Eastern Center for Arts and Technology. And then lastly, again, I will share a link for you to go to our website and you'll be able to watch all of the videos that talk specifically about the courses and the different offerings for everything that your scholars can pick while in the high school. And at this time, I will pass it over to the head of the guidance department, Ms. Lori Cohen.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Certainly the commute was good for you, so that's a plus for this. We're glad to have you here. We want to go over the course selection process for your students for Cheltenham High School for next year. It's going to have some things that look very similar to this year and some things that are different for our current students. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's important to understand the timeline as to how this process works. Somewhere between February 17th and the 26th of February, English teachers will be showing a video to students virtually that will tell them more about the course selection process, talk about what they need to do to go on and select their courses, and give some pointers and tips. Your students will have available for them February 17th through March 8th at 7 a.m. They will log on to PowerSchool, and that's where they're going to pick their courses for next year. After March 8th, the window on PowerSchool will be closed down and students will no longer be able to pick their classes themselves, because at that time, counselors will be scheduling individual meetings with students, virtual meetings, obviously, but we'll be meeting with each student one-on-one in a Google Meet to look at what they've selected, to talk about their choices, talk about how it fits with what they see themselves doing in their future, and make sure they have enough classes selected. Okay, Doc, next. So just like we did last year, students will be able to log on to PowerSchool at some point in July and see their schedule for the following year. We will then encourage students, if they have a concern with their roster or a question, or they change their mind and want to see if that's possible to make a switch, to email their counselors by August 30th, which is the last day to request a change. If you don't request by August 30th, we unfortunately will not be able to honor that. The purpose of that is that we really like to start the school year with all of the classes intact. The groups are set, ready to go, and they start from day one and move forward. So we don't really want changes to be occurring 2-3 weeks into the school year. We can't guarantee that a change will be made over the summer, but we certainly would encourage you to have your student send us an email and see if we are able to make the change, if that's even possible.
And just to add to what Ms. Cohen just stated, I know there's probably some of you that are asking, well, why our schedule is going to be released in July, and they have to email these requests. That is why this process is that important. When we get these requests, and then the counselors meet with each scholar and verify the requests, your schedule is built and created. The entire schedule, courses are created based on what our scholars pick. So a schedule will be created with exactly what they picked from their listing. And that's why this process is that important. I'll give it back to you, Ms. Cohen.
So this is a really great place to start. It's on our website. If you if you forget where this is or don't have a link to this, you can go to the Cheltenham website, go to the high school, and look for the course description guide. This will show you pretty much anything and everything you need to know about the courses. There is a paragraph description of every single course that we offer. There is a list of the graduation requirements. There are suggestions for honors and AP classes. So this should be a really good resource for you to be using. Next. So speaking of graduation requirements, we always like to let students know what it is they're shooting for. So in order to get a high school diploma from Cheltenham High School, students need to have 4 years of credits of English, 1 credit of gym, and that breaks down into 2 gym courses over the course of 4 years. They need to take 3.5 credits of social studies, 3 of math, 3 years of science, 1 of which must be biology, an additional credit of math or science. They need to have a credit of world language, half a credit of health. Currently, the class of 22 needs to have electives and all of the required courses totaling up to 23 credits. Class of 2024 and beyond, that's going to be updated and going to be discussed in some future board meetings. So that number will come in the future. But for our current juniors, they will still only need 23 credits to graduate. So next year, all students are required to take 8-period roster over the course of the whole school year. The schedule is going to look a little different than it has in previous years. It's actually going to mirror more closely what we're doing this year, and I will get to that in the future in a little bit. All students will absolutely be scheduled for a lunch period that's built in. We ask that you make decisions carefully. We ask that you look at the course description guide and see if there are any prerequisites for a class that you are interested in, because those prerequisites are in place so that you can find success in the course. So for instance, if you've never had an introduction to computer programming course or experience, you're not going to be successful in an AP computer science class. So that's why we put a prerequisite in for a class such as that. Students need to really closely think about the courses they are taking with their extracurricular activities. If there is a student who is a 3-season athlete, or who is involved in theater production, or who works 20 to 25 hours a week at a job, or is expected to, volunteer at their church or their synagogue. They really want to make sure that they're going to have the time to devote to challenging and demanding courses, and they don't want to overextend themselves. We also encourage students to start thinking about an academic focus. This isn't as important for 9th and 10th graders because they don't have as many elective opportunities, but by the time students get to 11th and 12th grade, they get choices in some of the courses that they are allowed to take and are expected to take. So if a student is interested, for instance, in a field in medicine, we would encourage them to double up maybe in 11th grade and take a science and then an elective science course. If they're interested in possibly becoming a lawyer, we would encourage them to look at some of our US government courses that we offer. So students should start thinking about the academic focus if they have one. Keep in mind that many students don't have it, and that's okay. We offer a phenomenal number of courses that students can take, and it's a really nice way to sample and try and explore different things. So we absolutely encourage that as well. Students should discuss with their parents, their teachers, their counselors, upperclassmen, older siblings. It's really important, as Dr. Hammond was saying, that this piece of the course selection process be taken seriously, because which classes we offered is fully driven by the courses that students request. And so if students just say, oh, I'll change my mind and figure it out later, there may end up not being room in courses that they think they want to take, because the schedule was built with the number of requests for that course. So we absolutely encourage students to take this process very seriously and thoughtfully. So we offer honors courses in every single subject area, with the exception of phys ed, I believe. An honors level course is a course that provides higher order thinking skills, requires higher order thinking skills, and provides the opportunity to put those skills in place. So if you think about the who, what, when, where, and why, honors classes tend to focus more on the why than the who, what, when, and where. Honors classes do go at a more accelerated pace. There is less repetition of material. There is more of an expectation that students will grasp mastery after 1 or 2 instructions and move forward. There is often a demanding workload that involves reading, writing, and problem solving. As a result, honors courses do receive weighted credit towards the weighted GPA. Honors courses are a good option to prepare students to take advanced placement classes, and it also allows you to go into more depth in the course. So if your student is interested in a specific area, I would encourage them to think about taking an honors level course if they've excelled in it in this current school year. In addition to honors courses, we offer what's called advanced placement courses. Advanced placement is a curriculum that is designed by the College Board. We all know a College Board based on SATs, but they are also integral to the AP program. Basically, an AP student in AP Human Geography in Cheltenham is studying the same information that an AP Human Geography student in California is studying. So it's a very prescribed set curriculum. They are college level, it's a college level program. They are designed to simulate the course content of a first level course at a college or university. At the end of the course in high school, there is an advanced placement exam. And if your student does well enough on the advanced placement exam, he or she can earn credit at a college or university. So some students go into college already at the sophomore level based on the courses that they've taken for advanced placement. Students need to know, though, that they do have to expect 45 to 60 minutes of work every night for an AP course. And some AP courses don't give the homework that you might see in an honors or a regular class, but the expectation is that students are reviewing and reading and studying on their own. Again, simulating a college level program. So please make sure that your student is disciplined and up for the challenge of that. Advanced placement courses are really good because it does allow you to see what a first level college course could be like. As I talked about the college credit, sometimes it can help students go 3 years of school rather than 4. Other times students want to stay the 4 years, but they are then able to do a double major. AP students students who are successful in AP tend to do better in college because they've already started that experience. So it's a good indicator of college success. And colleges like to see rigor. So putting AP classes on your students' transcript somewhere throughout high school is certainly going to increase their chances of being accepted into college. Okay. So there are several different types of majors courses that we offer. So all students in every year have to take an English class. That's considered a required major. That's a required class. Math, science, social studies are required classes in 9th, 10th, and 11th grades. But elective majors are courses that will get 1 credit on, the same amount of credit as they would get for an English class. Because we are moving to a different system next year, we are moving towards a block schedule. It's going to look very similar to the virtual schedule that we are currently in, where students have 4 classes a day instead of the previous years that they've had 7 class periods. So majors for going forward are going to meet every day for 1 semester. So a student would have English every day for a longer period of time because there's only 4 classes in the school day. So they're going to be somewhere between, what would we say, Doc?
It's about 82 minutes.
82 minutes a class. And then at the end of this first semester, they will have earned that English credit, and then they will start a whole nother brand new major for the second semester. Some examples of majors are Spanish, sociology, or robotics. We have certain classes that we had to be creative with in our presentation. So these are what we're calling year-long majors. These are majors that will meet every other day for the entire school year. The purpose of this, as you can see by some of our examples, some of our music program is going to be year-long majors, because really you can't have a year-long music program if students are not even taking a music class in the first semester, or if they stop at the first semester. So a student in orchestra will have orchestra every other day for the whole year. Also, our AP classes will go every other day for the whole year. This is because the AP exams are in the middle of May, and we need to give our teachers and our students enough time to really take that material and learn it. So these all AP classes and music classes are every other day majors that will run for the entire year. When students are looking to schedule, they need to keep that in mind if they are selecting elective majors that meet every other day. They're called year-long majors. And then there are our minor classes. These are the courses that earn students half a credit, and they will meet every other day for 1 semester. So some examples might be TV production, ethics and science, or a business class. So this is a good example of what a schedule is going to look like. Every scholar will need to fill 8 full credits in our block schedule. As you can see, there are 4 blocks each semester. And I think the next few screens are going to show you some examples of them. So there are 5 different ways to fill the blocks.
Actually 6, I'm sorry. That should have said 6.
That's all right. The first one is to take a major class in semester 1 and pair that with a major class in semester 2. So that might be English first semester, and then it would be US history second semester. The next option would be the first semester would be a major, but then the second semester would be 2 minors. So in this example, a student may take English first semester, but then they might decide to take graphic design and culinary arts for second semester. So this would be block 1 first semester would be English, second semester would be culinary arts on B days and graphic design on G days. Next. All right. Sometimes students may be really interested in our electives. Like I said, we have some really cool ones. I often say, I wish I could go back and take some of these classes. So they may choose to take for one block 4 minors. So first semester, they might have photography and culinary arts. And then second semester, they might be taking journalism and business 101. This will give students a really great opportunity to sample different things. And mom and dad, it will allow them to maybe start to develop a passion and a career interest with the opportunity to take so many new courses throughout high school. So here we have our year-long major option. So as you see, that will be every day, every other day rather, for the entire year. So this might be AP Human Geography for 9th grade. So AP Human Geography in block 1 would be on blue days, every blue day, every other day from September through June. They could take opposite of that minor classes. So they might take the journalism and ethics and science opposite of that. And so the journalism would be first semester, ethics and science would be the minor that would be second semester. And then some students are going to choose to take 2 year-long majors. So these would be running the entire year. On blue days, B days, they might take AP Human Geography. On gold days, they may decide to take the orchestra class. And these would fit opposite of each other and work really well together. So we can 100% guarantee that your student is going to have English every single year. We can guarantee they're going to get their math class. We can pretty much guarantee they're going to get their next level of their Spanish class or French class. We can't guarantee they're going to get all of their electives. We only have, X number of spots and so forth. So things like culinary arts or ethics and science or robotics are considered electives. They are not guaranteed. So it's really critical that your students pick courses that would be considered alternates. Alternates are classes that your students would want to take if they didn't get their first choice. So look at it as you're doing your first choice or your requested electives, and then your second choice is going to be your alternates. All right, wait, I'm going to answer this question if that's okay. So the question is, it sounds like a major like Spanish would be every day for semester 1, and then they would take a different major in semester 2. That is correct. How would you recommend that a student stay fluent if they take a 6-month break between classes? Our teachers, language teachers and math teachers will be working and doing some intensive reviews in the beginning of classes, at the beginning of each school year and each course. So they will absolutely give them that opportunity to refresh. But certainly there are many ways that students can work on fluency, especially in a foreign language throughout the school year when they don't have the course. And I know that the foreign language teachers would be willing to share that information as well. And yes, seniors do have a greater chance of getting their elective choice because we do schedule seniors first and then juniors and sophomores and freshmen. So seniors absolutely get that. And there are 2 semesters a school year. All right, so how do students pick their classes? They're going to log into their PowerSchool account, and it has to be, students have to log into the account, not the parents' account. So make sure the student is logging in as themselves. If they don't know their login, they can email their counselor or their administrator, and we can tell them what that is. On the left-hand side, there will be a button that says class registration. They're going to click on that, and there's going to be drop-down menus that they're going to have to fill out. Our kids have done this. If upperclassmen have done this for several years, so they're very familiar with it. I think 8th graders, you'll be working with your counselors to do that as well, but it's actually very simple and very user-friendly to use. And you have until March 7th to go through and make any of these changes. You can submit your requests, and then if you change your mind, as long as it's prior to March 7th, you will be able to go in and make changes as many times as you want prior to March 7th. So here's a screen of what it looks like. This is where on the left side where the class registration is. And then over here, they'll click on that little pencil. It's a drop-down menu, and it will give them their choices for 11th grade English. And then it'll give them their choices for 11th grade social studies. So it's pretty easy to do. If they struggle and can't figure it out, tell them not to panic. Tell them to do the best they can, because remember, they will still be meeting with their counselors individually, one-on-one. And so we can make any corrections and changes and fix any mistakes that are made. We know that the new schedule system is going to be a little bit different than what kids are used to. So we're fully expecting kids to not quite know which classes to pick. So again, I want to remind you, August 30th is the drop dead date when you can email to answer and ask any questions or concerns about your schedule. So please encourage your students over the summer to occasionally check PowerSchool to see if it's been up and running yet. We do have, while you're moving to the next one, a question. How does taking a foreign language for one semester count towards the minimum requirements for college? Are you finding colleges accepting a foreign language as semester completion and not 2 years? So if they are taking the foreign language course in one semester, that counts as 1 year of course. They'll get 1 full credit for that foreign language course. So yes, a college would look at that as a full year of course. Okay, next screen.
Before we go on to the next screen, because this ends Ms. Cohen's part, I do want to emphasize again the importance of this process. When your scholars select their courses, and this is the same as every other year, when I say the schedule is built off of the request, the schedule is literally built. All aspects of the schedule are built. So for example, if your scholar wants to take a music class and a language and this an AP math class, where those classes are placed in the schedule and how many sections that I end up creating for the schedule and classes that I don't run, for example, it's all based on the requests that come in from your scholars. So once this whole process, once they select their courses and then everybody meets with the counselors, I then look at all of the requests and I have to make some difficult decisions. I have to decide, I have to find out, I have to make sure that the placement of the courses are in the best places so that the majority, almost every kid that has selected it can get it. I have to make sure that I have more kids that chose this course than another course. So, I'm going to run an extra section of this first course. All of that is done based on these requests. And so if that is not taken seriously, what will end up happening is once the schedule is released, your scholars will say, I don't really want that course anymore. I just picked it. And we'll try to work with you, but what will end up happening is you may lose something that you really wanted to change your schedule because it doesn't fit other ways. It was built based on the requests that were made during this process. And so I want to make sure that everybody takes advantage of their high school experience and you're taking the courses that you want to get. And, but I can't stress enough that you really have to take the time to make sure that you're picking the right courses for you and you're picking the correct alternates. That if something doesn't work with your first choice, what could you live with? Because all of that is going to be used to build your schedule.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of questions that are coming up. At the end of the presentation, we'll go through and answer the questions.
Okay.
But I really want to stress that this is a very important part of the process, because once I start building the schedule, it gets built based on what you have selected. And with that, we'll move to Miss Jackson.
All right, good evening, everybody, Cheltenham families. I want to talk about the freshman transition program. I guess I backtrack a little bit. When you are entering your freshman year, you have a few choices that you have to make, not just about courses, but also about programs. One experience is the freshman transition program. Another is the PBL program. And then there is also just an opportunity just to select courses and not be a part of any particular program. And the freshman transition program is just one of those options. In terms of myself, I'm Miss Jackson, 24 years of experience teaching ninth graders, as well as all of the grades in terms of social studies. This is the 5th year of the freshman transition program. And our first graduating class was the class of 2020. So I'm very proud to say that we have evolved, we have our own traditions, we have our own way of doing things, and we have really bonded as a team of teachers. This program was started because we recognized that there was a need to provide higher levels of support to students coming into the high school. The high school is a very big place. It can be very confusing. And in times, students didn't really know what resources were available, or they didn't understand the importance of GPA and all kinds of other things. So we really wanted to provide a program, and not just a course, but a program that would help support students moving into the high school. We are comprised of a team of teachers. We can move to the next slide.
Sorry.
And this team of teachers, we have set goals, and those are to provide skills, strategies, a network, and experiences needed to navigate the culture of high school life successfully. Other things, providing social, emotional, and academic success, and focusing on developing their personal goals. Some of this is accomplished through the course, but some of this is also accomplished through our approach. We can move to the next slide. So the program structure, we have a team of teachers, an English, social studies, math, science, and special education teacher on the team. We meet either once or twice per week to focus on student achievement. And the main idea is that we don't want students to fall through the cracks. So it's very, very difficult moving to the high school, and in a big setting, it is pretty much one of those things that we concern ourselves with, our students' needs not being met. Are some students just falling through the cracks? And I'll give you an example. If we have a student who's an okay student, doesn't necessarily have behavioral issues, and they might not necessarily get noticed. And a team approach, we actually talk about each and every student on the team on a regular basis. And it's either how can we provide more support, or how can we provide more enrichment. For those students who are enrolled in the freshman transition program, there is a course called Freshman Seminar that I teach. This course will meet every other day for the entire year to provide support for freshmen for the entire year instead of just one semester. So this is the way that the program has been structured previously, and we felt that it was important that we continue that tradition to provide support all year. In terms of the course itself, we do host guest speakers. Some of those guest speakers are internal. So for instance, guidance counselors like Ms. Vargas have come and spoken several times a year to discuss things related to possibly course selection or things related to GPA, so that students really understand the importance of the ninth grade year. We've also had sessions of team building and mentoring with Mr. Burton. So we invite guest speakers, both internally and those from the outside, to the freshman seminar course. So our goals in terms of students, we would like students to be able to pursue their academic and social resources and opportunities available to them. So if there's an opportunity that arises for students to have mentors or tutoring, or if there's an enrichment opportunity, we try to provide those resources for students to take advantage of them. We also organize trips for the entire program. Some of the trips that we've taken were to the Liberty Museum, as you can see below. We also have in-school field trips. That is actually pictured above, where we did team building with students and their peer mentors. We've gone to the zoo. We've gone to several conferences, and most recently, students participated in the Delaware Valley Consortium for Equity and Excellence virtual conference, normally held in person at the University of Pennsylvania, but this year it was online. There are mentorship opportunities, both with peer mentors and also outside mentors that connect with the students to help them with this transition. In terms of other goals, we like to promote success. Students recently received awards through the PBIS program, but we also do our internal awards within the program. So we like to celebrate their success and also recognize when they've turned things around. The picture above, there are 2 current students in the program and 1 former student in the program. So we also have families who have chosen this program for their children. The picture below are 2 students who are currently juniors. They were recognized by the school board and they spoke at the school board meeting a couple years ago. So we try to provide opportunities for them to demonstrate their excellence. Obviously, we want them to be successful in high school, but we also want them to look forward to their post-secondary goals. And college is one option, but we also like to open their minds up to a variety of other options as well. So the freshman transition program team, as I said before, consists of a powerhouse group of teachers who are extremely dedicated, very well organized, super enthusiastic, and they have very high expectations. But what I can say about our team is that everyone is extremely supportive. And we work very, very well together as a team. In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teams, which I'm teaching to the students now, we would say that this team has synergy. So Ms. Threats, in speaking about the team, the freshman transition program creates a small community within a big high school of teachers and students who work together to support all of the FTP students. Ms. Eisenberg, our math teacher, FTP consists of a highly dedicated, enthusiastic, and passionate team of teachers who strive to successfully support freshmen in learning how to navigate the complex constructs of high school. And our wordier teachers, social studies and English here, Mr. Oboihi, FTP provides the opportunity for students to build positive relationships within a tight-knit cohort and allows for teachers to intentionally strategize on the cohort's behalf. Students have opportunities to learn outside the typical classroom with school trips. And Ms. Acosta, our English teacher, students are given the added safety net during a transition year where many students seem to struggle. We are a team of teachers who care deeply, prioritize education, and consistently demonstrate high standards. The FTP is particularly special because it addresses the needs of the often overlooked middle group of students, those who have the potential to achieve more, but who need a bit more oversight and assistance to get there. And I think, of course, as the English teacher, she said it probably the best, the essence of the program. Back one, forward one, yes, there. We also have on our team Mrs. Clearkin. She is a special education teacher. She manages any of the students with IEPs and provides support in our classrooms. The FTP has been a truly impactful experience for the students who have been a part of it. Not only has it shaped students' academic lives at CHS, but it also helps students to develop bonds with their peers as well as teachers. The freshmen who take part in this cohort develop a truly unique perspective on what it means to be a Cheltenham High School student. And myself, the FTP couples high levels of support with high expectations. We take pride in building relationships and implementing strategies that promote success and achievement in all aspects of life. This is our team. I have worked with several of these individuals for a long time. Others have come onto the team more recently, but even through this pandemic, we consistently meet, we consistently strategize to make things better and support our students. So if you have any questions, my email is mjackson@cheltenham.org. I'm very open to answering any questions that you don't feel comfortable asking in the Q&A. Like I said, we are always enthusiastic. We enjoy our students. All of the teachers on the team, when they looked at this presentation, were feeling, very nostalgic for getting back to the way things were, but also very proud of the things that we've accomplished.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. And next up, we have Mr. Pimental for project-based learning.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Pimental. I'm the supervisor of professional development and gifted education. And I'm presenting on behalf of the project-based learning team this evening. So usually the first question we get when we start talking about project-based learning is, what is project-based learning? And the simplest answer is that it's a method of learning where students learn the content and skills that they need to be successful in the world, but they do so through real world projects or connecting what it is they do in the classroom to something that's more closely connected to the real world. So for example, our 9th grade students for several years running, every year have worked together to produce a book that is available for sale on Amazon. Every year the theme is changed, but they're working together to produce that text. And of course, the instruction that's necessary for that to happen occurs in order to produce the book. But at the end of the day, what it is they're trying to do is something that is available to the public. But let's hear from the PBL students themselves about their views of it and how it has impacted them.
I go to PBL because my whole school life, I was told exactly what to do and how to do it. I heard PBL do the opposite of that I would have to collaborate with others, think on my own, and sometimes create new projects.
My dad and my older brother said that it would be nice for me, and they think it complements the way I think. So they knew I was more of a creative person. And my brother, he's more of a mental thinker. The classes he was in moved too slow for him. So he joined PBL, and it was perfect for him. And my parents thought it would be perfect for me too.
You have to do a lot of learning on your own and like reading different things to figure out information.
I wanted to try something new. I didn't want to come into high school and like do the same thing like I did last year.
One thing I really like is that we're going more into the real world to do all of our projects.
Are the Director of Communications and the Director of Development from the Philadelphia School
and myself started this company.
What challenges you the most? Sometimes I think it's hard to translate some ideas I had to other people, because some people, they might think my way and they just might, they get it like that. But like other times they think differently. And so I have to kind of further explain to them. And if they don't like my idea, I have to figure out a way to translate it into their language.
So for low income areas, we'll have a model with smaller houses, like this, for example.
Everyone cares about you in PBL, and they care about how you're doing and how your grades are, and yeah, that's really all I can say about it. It's my favorite part of my day. I really learn a lot, and I think it is gonna prepare me for the life ahead of me.
They challenge me better, they help me with my work, and I love it.
So when asking the question, why PBL, and in this sense, we mean why did we bring project-based learning to Cheltenham and why is it an option? When human resources departments in postgraduate institutions, business, government, et cetera, were asked to describe their ideal candidate, you can see that those features are bullet pointed here. So those institutions are looking for people who are problem solvers, who have their own sense of responsibility, can collaborate with others, while also knowing how to work on their own. People who are critical thinkers, they can manage their own time and resources, and people who know how to communicate with a wide variety of people. These were the top responses from industry. And a lot of what is built into the project-based learning experience is to help develop these soft skills that are a key to success in the 21st century. So some things about what PBL is and what it is not. So what it is the real world. The tagline that we use for PBL is that school is the real world. You know, we one of the things we try to avoid is that classic thing where a teacher says, you know, well, one day you're going to need this, or when you grow up, you're going to need to know this, or when you get out into the real world, you're going to have to know. The idea of PBL is that we get away from even having to say those kinds of things, and that it's self-apparent why something is being learned. Project-based learning is a community. The students are in a relatively small group and they spend a lot of time together throughout the course of the day. When the bells are ringing and students are transitioning from class to class in the rest of the high school, the PBL students for a significant portion of the day are staying together during that time. So they build some very strong bonds with the students who are there because they spend more consecutive time together. And project-based learning is about using knowledge. So we want our students to learn the things they need to know in order to be successful in the world, but we also want them to put that knowledge to use. And that's a real driving focus of the curriculum and what it is the teachers design for the students. Some things that PBL is not. Number one, it's not easy. So anyone who might be thinking, oh, you know, I'm looking for an easy option, or I don't want to work that hard, so maybe I'll do PBL, then you're probably going to be disappointed when you get there. Our PBL teachers hold our students to a very high standard, and there's a lot of work that is expected of them and a lot of independent work that's expected of them. So it's a rigorous set of coursework. It is for a wide variety of students, but it is also designed for those students who are looking to take honors courses, who will be taking advanced placement courses, and are looking to be college bound. PBL is not a panacea. It's not it does not solve all problems. There are absolutely students who join PBL and find great success with it, including students who have not had success in school prior to it. PBL just really works for them, but it doesn't necessarily work for all students. So some students it's a perfect fit and some it isn't. And then lastly, it's not for any particular kind of student. We have students who are in PBL who are also going to Eastern. We have students who are college bound. We have students who aren't sure what they're going to do next. We have students who have challenges that they're dealing with. We have students who are gifted. We have students who are artistic. We have students who are mathematical. It isn't necessarily for a particular kind of student. It's really about the kind of work that a student wants to engage in. So just some details. This is an example of a PBL schedule that has been put in place up through this year. So on the left is a sample example of what the schedule would look like. So everything that's in the red box is the PBL block. So there's social studies, science, and English, and then there's also an additional period called advisory. Advisory is used for a wide variety of things. Sometimes it's for project work. Sometimes it's for check-ins with students to see if they're missing work or if they need extra help with something. Sometimes it's used as an SEL block. The teachers who run the PBL program use that as essentially a flex period, and they use it for a wide variety of purposes and uses. And you can see that all 4 of those periods are back to back. So the students all spend that essentially half of the day in the PBL block. Then when they leave PBL, they'll have lunch and they'll have their math class and then 2 electives. Another thing to point out is that for all of our project-based learning courses, they have 2 levels. There's the regular on-level course, which is what you would be rostered into if you just chose PBL, but you can also choose to have any one or all of your PBL courses as honors courses. The students in the honors level PBL course are taking it with the on-level course. And what happens is that the students sign a contract with the teacher that stipulates the higher level expectations and additional work that has to be accomplished in order to be an honors student in the PBL program. So this is, I wanted to start with that first slide since that's how things have been set up. And when you're looking at the second slide, it's a little bit more complicated to look at, but what you're looking at here is what the schedule would be looking like, a sample schedule would be looking like next year when we move to block scheduling. So from a PBL perspective, there isn't that much that changes. The block still stays the same, as you can see here. And then outside of the block, depending on semester 1 or semester 2, the student would be filling in those blocks with other required courses or electives. And again, the honors and on-level option is there.
Thank you, Mr. Pimental.
And sorry, one last thing. For parents, if you're interested in project-based learning and you follow the link to the video that has been sent to you, when you start seeing the beginning of the video, you may think it's the same video that you've already seen, and there are a few of the same clips, but it's an extended version and it has some more information and some more student voices. So I invite you to listen to that if you are interested. Thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, we will transition to Ms. Shields to share with you information about Easter.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Shields, and I'm the Marketing and Recruitment Coordinator for the Eastern Center for Arts and Technology. So we're the career and technical high school, not only for Cheltenham, but for all 9 school districts in Eastern Montgomery County. So what's nice about that is that if your student has a specific career interest, they're in class with students from all over Eastern Montgomery County, including Abington, Springfield, Jenkintown, Upper Dublin, Hatboro, Horsham, Lower Moreland, and Upper Moreland. We also have Bishop McDevitt and Archbishop Wood students who attend as well. As long as they live in Eastern Montgomery County, they can participate in an Eastern program. Our programs we have 15 half-day career and technical programs. They run from 7:45 to 10:30 a.m. if your student selects the AM session, or noon to 2:45 p.m. if they select the afternoon session. We have 15 different programs, and I have them broken out here into, Dr. Hammond, are you showing the Eastern video?
I clicked on the thing and it went right to the video.
That's okay. That's okay. If, Yeah, if you're going to show the video, it sort of repeats what I'm saying anyway.
No, I'll let you go. I didn't realize that I was going to go to the next slide for you.
Oh yeah, no problem. So our programs are basically they're in 5 different career clusters. The first career cluster is arts and human services. So that would be commercial art, which is graphic design, illustration, and photography. Cosmetology, which is hair, skincare. There's an element of makeup and nails. Culinary arts, which is cooking, baking. There's an element of nutrition. There's catering. The second career cluster is what we call business, computers, and public safety, and that includes business and technology professional. We've had a lot of really successful PBL students transition into our business and technology professional program because those students know what they want to do and they have great problem solving skills. Networking and cybersecurity, and protective services, which is police, fire, security, and EMT. Our third career cluster that we have is what I call the construction career cluster. So students can take construction technology, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's where you learn to build. The first year students build little playhouses. They're not so little. I don't know if you've ever been to Eastern, but we always have them on display. And that is great because it teaches them the basics of construction, roofing, siding, window installation, flooring. Then you move over to electrical technology, which is the first step if a student is interested in becoming a commercial or a residential electrician. Or HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Also really high paying in demand fields. The next career cluster is what we call our health sciences career cluster. So we have 2 programs in health sciences. We have veterinary science, which is a small animal science program focusing mainly on small animals such as dogs and cats. We also our students will run a doggy daycare and a grooming clinic in a normal situation, which was not so much 2020, as we all know. And the second program in our health sciences is Allied Health, which is a 1-year seniors only program. All of our other programs are 2 years in length for high school juniors and seniors, with the exception of Allied Health. And that is an overview, a broad overview of all of the healthcare fields and careers that you can go into from that. Physician's assistant is really popular with our students right now. Always nursing is very popular, physical therapy. So those are the type of post-secondary programs that our students go into from Allied Health. And the last career cluster that we have, we call transportation and manufacturing, where we have automotive technology, which I call the inside of the car. It's the engine, the brakes, the wiring, the electrical systems, the computer systems that are built on board. Collision technology, which is where if you get in a car accident, you learn how to pull out the dent, sand it down, refinish it, repaint it, and detail it. Welding technology, it's where you learn the different types of welding techniques and plasma cutting. And our newest program, which is robotics and automated technology, we have a brand new lab with a 3D printer, a pick and play robotic arm that students learn to program and troubleshoot. We have the hydraulics. It's an amazing program, brand new teacher. So that just started this year. As it says in the slide there, Eastern is free, but our programs do have program fees associated with each one. For example, Allied Health would need scrubs. Welding would need their fire protection uniform. Construction, they have a shirt that they wear and steel-toed boots, those types of things. Okay, next slide. So again, our sessions are morning or afternoon, and we work with the guidance counselors at our participating high schools. So we work to figure out which session would work best for your student. The nice part about coming to Eastern is that you're in class with students from all over Eastern Montgomery County that share the same interests and career goals as you. So our classes are 2 hours and 45 minutes, Monday through Friday. We also have a student leadership organization called Skills USA. So what Skills USA is, we do have officers elected in the AM and PM session, probably similar to the student council that you have at Cheltenham. But the great thing about Skills USA is that our students get to compete in their specific career field against other career and technical students from other career and technical high schools for different awards and scholarships. They also raise money every year for a specific charity. So that kind of unites them, brings them all together. A really big part and benefit of our programs is what we call co-op. These are paid internships that our school to career coordinator will work with our students in order to set up. So any senior that is interested in going out and working in the field in an internship, halfway through their senior year, they can be placed in a co-op along with the support of their instructor and their parents, of course, where they can work 4 out of 5 days a week in their specific career field, earning money, still earning the high school credits that you need to graduate, and making those job contacts. So it's a really great benefit of attending Eastern. Yeah, we have college articulation credits for many of our programs at Eastern, and they are set up either through Eastern internally with a specific school, or they're set up through the state, Pennsylvania. So we have many programs where our students can go ahead and skip some of those intro courses at the college of their choice, saving you some money and saving them some time. 3 of our students are currently dually enrolled with Montgomery County Community College. That includes Allied Health for 3 credits, Business and Technology Professional. Those students actually get 9 credits over their 2-year program. And Networking and Cybersecurity students, they get 12 over their 2-year program, which is essentially an entire semester of college that puts them ahead. And Monco credits transfer virtually everywhere. Now, students do pay for dual enrollment versus articulation, which they don't pay, but they pay a significantly reduced rate. I believe this year was $190 for a 3-credit course, which is a really great value. Also, our students receive industry standard certifications in every one of our programs. We pride ourselves on that. No matter what program you're in, for example, culinary arts, they leave with their ServSafe certification, which you need to work in any commercial restaurant, and they have the option to get their ServSafe manager certification. Our HVAC students, they get their EPA refrigerant handling certification. Commercial arts students get an Adobe certification. So, and the list goes on, and that is the case for all 15 of our programs. We have so many successful Cheltenham graduates from Eastern, but this, I'm not going to lie, this is one of my favorites. This is Alyssa Johnson from our construction technology program. When she was at Eastern, she was student of the month and absolutely a leader in the construction technology program. And all the students would come to her for help. She was more than willing to help out her peers. When she was getting ready to leave Eastern, she was having a hard time. She really wanted to help out her family, and she was having a hard time finding a job. And through our school to career department, she was able to help get an apprenticeship at Clover Contracting, where she is now. So she's on her 2nd year of an apprenticeship. Included in that apprenticeship is 1 day of classes at Associated Builders and Contractors, ABC. So she's still refining her skills and getting paid, and is with a great company that she loves. We do have a virtual open house this year. It's going to be Sunday, March 7th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. And we are going to have all of the Zoom links posted on our website, which is easttech.org, EASTECH.org, on Monday, March 1st. I'll have all of those posted. They're just going to be open. it's going to start out with 3 different sessions that you can choose from, 3 half-hour sessions. And then the 4th session, you can just pop in on any teacher and just get all of your questions answered. So the 4th session of open house is for questions. We also have a visitation coming up. I'm sure if you have a 10th grader, you most likely have heard about it. We do have a Career Expo visitation on February 25th, also virtual. If you didn't know about it and you want some information about it, Mrs. Cohen can shoot your student over the link where they can sign up for the virtual visit on the 25th. But I hope that you will attend on March 7th. And I'm here and I'm just going to check out the questions as we continue. What grades are Eastern students? It's 11th and 12th grade students. So most of our programs are 2 years in length, again, with the exception of the 1-year program, which is Allied Health. In the chat, I'm just going to put to all panelists and attendees, I'm going to put my email address. If anyone has any questions, even if you think of it later, feel free to drop me a line. Also, I'll put our website in here, easttech.org. Thank you all. Thank you for your time tonight.
Ben, you're on mute.
I just gave a dissertation. So what I was saying was that at this point in time, the Cheltenham webpage, if you go to the high school and click on academics, you will see a tab for curriculum night that will host all the videos from the different departments and our special electives for you to watch. I'm also going to paste that link in the chat for those that are still here so that you are able to quickly navigate right to that page. But again, in each video at the end, the person that gave the video will give you contact information so that if you have any specific questions, you can email that department coordinator so that you can get those questions answered. Because again, this is an extremely important part of the process. I know tonight there was a lot of questions about the block schedule, but we really want to make sure that we focus on just selecting the courses at this moment. We'll have another presentation and we'll go through and share the details of the block schedule itself and how that will fit and the pros and cons of a block schedule. But we have so many courses, and each year there's always that difficult decision of, I really want to take this course, but I didn't select it. Is there any way I can have that course now? And sometimes we can make it work, but sometimes the course is full. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't fit in the schedule and they would have to lose something important to them, like a upper level language class or a music class. And those are things that we don't want to lose. They're too important. And that is also one of the reasons why we're going to the block schedule, because it allows us to have more flexibility in how we place the courses so that students can get those courses that they really want. So with that, I'll give a couple minutes. We'll answer some more questions and then we'll wrap up this evening. But again, thank you guys. Thank all of you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us to learn about this. I am very responsive in emails, so you can ask me questions. You can ask your scholars, counselors questions. You can ask anybody that was a panelist up here tonight a question, but from an email. But
Ben,
we
can I
really
say
want to make sure that we do our best in picking the correct courses that we want to sit in next year. Go ahead, Ms. Cohen.
I want to add, we did talk about graduation requirements, and please keep in mind, those are the minimum requirements needed for graduation. Colleges often have much higher requirements. For instance, we only require 3 years of math and science with an additional year of either or. Many colleges are looking for 4 years of math and science. We only require 1 year of foreign language, world language, but many colleges are looking for a minimum of 2 up to 4 years of college. So look at our graduation requirements as a starting point, not an end point. So there is a question about our dual enrollment program with Arcadia. We actually have a dual enrollment agreement with several colleges: Arcadia, Manor, Montco, Penn State, Abington, I feel like Gratz, Marshall. That is available to 11th and 12th graders with a certain GPA. They need to have a 3.0 GPA or higher, and students will be invited who qualify for an information session about that. But yes, we do offer dual enrollment with those colleges. So the question is, our students could graduate without the correct number of courses in order to be accepted by college. How do we prevent this? Is it up to the family? No, it's a team effort. So that's why we meet with students every year. We have conversations about their futures. We encourage them, we inform them about what colleges are looking for. Certainly it is the students and the family's responsibility to do some research, but please be aware that we are advising with the goal of students getting accepted to college if that is their goal. And what else? Ben, can you answer that question about can a student take Spanish 2 and Spanish 3 in one school year? Is that going to be allowed?
We did talk about that possibly being a possibility. They would have to request it, and then then we try to build it. If there's enough requests to have that section run in multiple semesters and there's room, I don't see why that would be a problem.
And the question is there a place to see online which classes are needed in order to be a good college candidate? Unfortunately, every college has its own requirements. So your best bet would be to go to a college's website and go to their admissions page, and you'll get information there. I do believe in our course guide, though, we do list some basic college requirements, but again, I hesitate to blanket it because all colleges have different expectations and requirements. Yes, your student could request to take 2 different languages at the same time. We don't always run German 1 at the high school because we don't often have enough students who request that. But if the requests are there, we would run it. Okay, we good?
Well, it looks like the questions have settled out. Thank all of you for attending again. I will keep posting that link in there, and we're about to wrap up for the evening. I hope this information session was helpful. I hope the videos that you're about to watch are also helpful in making the decision. But again, that's not the end of the information. If you have questions, please reach out. This is a process. We're all in it together. We all want to make sure that our scholars have the best opportunities to take the courses and that they're placed in the right courses for them. So, you reach out to one of the counselors. If they don't have an answer to your question, they'll reach out to the teacher that currently teaches the course. That might not be the teacher that teaches a course next year, because everything will change, but they will definitely go above and beyond to make sure they get an answer for you. That's a good question. Will schedules change if school is virtual versus hybrid or in person in the fall? We'll try to run as close to a similar schedule of what is going to be created, because I don't want to keep jumping around and changing the schedule over and over again. And then with the busing and having everything with Eastern, there's a lot of changes that go into place every time we make an adjustment to our schedule. So we will try to, even if we're a hybrid, try to run as close to a normal schedule as possible, would be my answer at the moment.